Good evening, and welcome back after a Christmas and New Year. As we started off these Zoom meetings and the Photoshop instruction, it's been very much a evening where the viewers watched me carrying out some changes to images. And unless you've made some pretty good notes, you're going to find it difficult to go back and repeat the process that you've just viewed. So over the Christmas holidays, what I have decided to do is to automate the process. Therefore, give people the ability to apply on an automated basis changes to their photographs without having the deep knowledge of Adobe Camera Raw. So this evening, we're going to go through the first stage of the process. I have written several programs, and this is the first of the series, where it will carry out basic adjustments automatically using Adobe Camera Raw. The first thing we're going to do is load an image, and I'm going to double click on this little cottage scene. And as you can see, the image has loaded into Adobe Camera Raw. And this is the raw file created by the camera based on what the camera saw. And indeed, if you look at it, it differs from what we saw in the viewfinder. In other words, it looks quite darker. But this is what happens with a raw image. The raw image contains all the detail, and all of this detail allows us to manipulate the image and bring the image back to more of a presentation of what we saw on that evening. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, rather than carrying out the changes here, I'm going to let the system do it automatically. I'm going to just open this image into the Photoshop editor. I'm going to click open. I'm sure by this stage a lot of people are saying, but it hasn't done anything. But this is where the action will come into play. It is now opened in Photoshop, and again it doesn't look any different than it did in Camera Raw. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Window and click Window. When we click Window, we're going to get a range of selections. We're going to move down and select Actions. This is where your action will be installed, and I will go over this process in detail by sending the actions and then instructing you how to install them into your computer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the action number 1, which is a basic adjustments to a raw file. You can see that there are 3 other actions that lie below, and these will be explained over the coming weeks. At the bottom of the screen you'll find a little arrowhead, and this little arrowhead allows you to play the contents of that action. So if I press the arrowhead, you'll get up an instruction screen. Read it carefully. The purpose of this action is to carry out auto adjustments to a raw file using Adobe Camera Raw. The auto functions performed using this action. The first one is to rename the image master and create a copy to receive the updates, which would be Camera Raw process image. Apply the auto settings, and I'd like to point out at this stage that the white balance is also auto set, and this may need a little tweaking, which I will go over throughout the course of this tutorial. It will also correct any lens distortion, it will straighten the image, and it will open the adjusted image in Photoshop under the layer called Camera Raw Processed Image. And this will allow us to toggle between the before and the after. So if I press continue, the action will be performed in the background. And if we move back to layers, from layers we can see that we indeed have the master layer and we have the camera raw processed image. And if we click on the eye over the processed image, we will see that we've turned it off to what the raw file was. Okay, with that turned on and that selected, if we have a look at the image, bearing in mind that it has been a auto white balance condition, it may not be 100% to our liking. And I think that this image looks a little yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to image and we're going to select auto tone. And whenever we click auto tone, you will see that that image brightens slightly. And this is another method of how to correct the white balance within an image whilst using Photoshop. I'm just going to fill the screen by going to with my spyglass selected. I'm going to go to the window. I'm going to go to view. I'm going to go to screen mode, and then I'm going to go to full screen mode and click on full screen mode where we can view the image on screen. Now that is the first part of the automated process, and this video will be posted on my channel, and I will give you a reference to my channel so that you will be able to play it as and when desired. So that is the end of episode 1.